Hey, Unicorn Nation, Max Finn here with another episode of the Unicorn Perspective. Today, sat down with a good friend of mine, really smart guy, really successful marketer, Jeremy Blossom. He is the founder of Strike Point Media, and this company is just crushing it. They are one of the leading performance marketing firms in the world. They do kind of full service, but they really specialize in performance, and they've done amazing stuff in the financial lead gen, the financial conversion space, helping people drive sales for investing programs, trading programs, investment advisory, investment newsletters, so many programs in that space. They work with all the biggest players, drive massive volume, and they also built some really cool software, some really cool stuff they're working on now that I'm super excited to test myself for our own performance marketing team, and they've been doing something for quite a long time that now we're starting to do and other companies starting to catch on with, which is not just affiliate marketing gets kind of a bad rap. It's, hey, I drive traffic from Facebook, Google native to somebody else's site, ClickBank, JVZoo, whatever the site is, and I collect the spread, right? But what they're doing is they're building their own properties in the front end. So instead of just driving traffic from Facebook or Google to somebody's financial newsletter sales page, they're actually building out their own lead gen, their own content site, and they're driving traffic to that. And then they're presenting offers in the back end through their email list or through the confirmation page on the thank you page. They're doing a lot of cool stuff. And this is the way you should be doing performance marketing if you're doing anything in that space at all. It's what we're doing now, and I think that's the direction that everyone should take. So this episode, we covered a lot of great stuff. Basically, anybody that's doing any type of marketing, especially if you're doing performance marketing, if you're on a digital marketing agency, this is an episode you do not want to miss. I know I say that with every single episode, but this, we cover a lot of really great tactical marketing strategy, how to grow a company, how to hire, how to retain talent. He has a great process for hiring, onboarding, retaining, just some amazing stuff. Jeremy's a great guy, super smart guy, and I know you're going to enjoy it. So I'll see you on the other side. All right, Jeremy Blossom, what's up, brother? So it's fun when we get to flip flop. So you and I chatted on your show like a few days ago, and now here you are on this show. Although unfortunately you didn't get to debut your awesome new background on our episode.
Yes, thank you. I know I was doing it out of my home, and as the COVID crisis starts to unwind here a little bit, I came back to the office, and this is now done. So I'm pumped. This is the first podcast that I've been on where I get to show it off. So I'm excited.
Sweet background. It was great use of that, like one of those TV shows where it's just like you're taking something that's already there and you're painting it a little bit, make it look a little different, and it's a brand new piece of furniture. So very crafty of you.
Yeah, it's exactly what we did. I did not pay for this to be built in. I just painted it black, and it was white, and this looks 10 times better black. It's much more striking. So yeah,
I agree. Well, that was a nice pun there for Strike Point. A nice little tie-in use of Strike. It's a little easier than with us with Unicorn. I can't work in Unicorn as naturally into sentences as you can do. So what I want to chat about today is again, because the reason I do these in the first place, as I've told you before, is selfishly more for me, because I like chatting with friends and people that are smart, and I like having conversations with. And the added benefit is that it's content and we can share it and it gives value to people.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we've only met each other. It's been maybe a few months since the Agora event. I don't know if I ever got, and if I did, then I apologize. It's been crazy. But like your kind of background to like Strike Point and what you guys do, like where you got started. And for me, I always like meeting other restaurants marketers and learning where they got started and what led them down this path to where they are today.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting story. Like most people who get into direct response marketing, they've got some type of interesting way they got into it. I actually, way back when, this is now 15 years, no, sorry, this is going to be like 17 years ago. I'm really dating myself, but I actually did this show on MTV called Road Rules, South Pacific, and I was from Cleveland, Ohio, and I got on the show, and that led me out to LA. And so I was in LA and needed to start making money because the show doesn't pay you anything, although it looks like you're living this lifestyle, you're definitely not. And so I was waiting tables, and one of this couple with their kid was there, and I was waiting tables, and I had this conversation with my friend who had come to visit, and they had overheard it. And I said in that conversation, I wish it was up to me how much money I could make. So the guy liked that statement and said, hey, we have an internship program. You should come and check it out. I was 21 at the time, going to school. And so I did. And it was a hedge fund. It was a commodity trading advisory firm. And what you do is you study your face off for like 6 months. And once you pass your test, the first thing they have you do is make a bunch of outbound phone calls. So I hated that with a passion. And we had this script we had to read. And one day I was on this call and the guy on the other end told me no. And I said, do you mind if I ask just why? Why are you telling me no? And he's like, I'm petrified. I have no idea what this is. I'm not really understanding how options worked at the time. The hedge fund traded a lot of options contracts. And so that weekend I was going to Saddleback Church, which is the church that Rick Warren leads. It's called, he wrote this book called The Purpose Driven Life. And he had this sermon, and it just so happened to be on fear. He said, the only thing that can conquer fear is knowledge and experience. And this light bulb went off, Max, in my head. And I'm like, oh, wait, I know exactly what we need to do here. We need to teach these people about options first before we ask them for their money. So when I read and learn something, I have to take a bunch of notes and write everything out on a pen and paper. So I took all these notes that I've been using to pass my Series 7, 63, all these different licenses. And I created a course and called it Trade Learner. And my team leader, I told him about this idea, and he said, yeah, okay, go ahead and try it here and there, but just do it sparingly. Let's not go crazy. This was a small firm. We were 16 people at the time, and it took off. We went from 16 to 65 people, and Trade Learner became this course that we sold, and I ended up becoming the youngest principal in the hedge fund's history as the guy running point on Trade Learner. And I would buy media, and I started to market this info product. Now this is 2004, 5, 6, and 7. So this is like,
way
this
early.
is way early. I mean, I was like Camtasia user number 5 or something crazy. Like I was like, there was a company out of like outside of Grand Rapids, Michigan that was doing Snagit and like, Camtasia and doing all these like really interesting video stuff, and WebEx. This is before it used to be WebEx was the big player, and then it was GoToMeeting, GoToWebinar. So we were on WebEx back then. I used a service called Articulate. Anyway, I was just building this stuff really early and started to get into marketing. And I did that for 7.5 years, and these guys killed it. And I thought that the direction to go was to be a financial advisor, start my own firm, find money managers like these guys, and because I could do all the lead gen, I could do that myself. So I left the hedge fund, worked and started my own financial advisory firm, ran that for 3 years, and man, I hated that. It was definitely not like it was. I love all things finance and trading and investing, but I certainly didn't like managing other people's money. Frankly, I felt like a charlatan. I was 27 when I started the financial advisory firm, and I'm telling guys what to do with $500,000, and I definitely did not have $500,000 when I was 27 years old. So at least not me. Some guys I know do. But anyway, so I was telling these guys what to do with their money, and I had a mentor, and he was telling me, this isn't for you. And I go, well, what should I do? He's like, man, think about your life. You're a marketer. You're a great salesman, but you really get marketing. So he owned several different businesses. One of them was an online trading education company out of Chicago. They had just fired their agency, and he asked me to come and pitch him. So I did, and we landed the gig, and Strike Point was born in August of 2013. And so we just stumbled into the trading and investing space because that's my background. And ever since then, that's been the primary space that we've been doing. And the direct response stuff actually came about 2 years into it. So I was kind of doing direct response marketing, but didn't really know what I was doing. The original client that hired us was a huge Dan Kennedy fan. And so he was like, hey, I've paid to have us go and spend time with him at his house in Cleveland. I want you to come out. And I remember like thinking, all right, I should probably do some research on this guy. And I read his book, The No BS Guide to Direct Response Marketing. And my life was like literally changed. I remember finishing on the flight out there to go and see him, and I got to go and spend 8 hours with the legendary Dan Kennedy. And we came away from it and we changed everything. We were 18 employees at the time. Most of them were like web creative people and development guys. We changed out our entire staff. We let most of them go and we rehired back actual direct response marketers, copywriters, media buyers, and totally changed our entire business model and got into funnel building instead of more of like the branding kind of. And we did media buying, I guess, the whole time, but like with the what kind of purpose and the numbers background that I have really played well into this whole thing because I'm always black and white guy. I've always defaulted to what are the numbers. So direct response plays really well into that for me, and we just took that into Strike Point, and we are where we're at today.
I love it, man. So explain for everyone listening, because I think what's interesting about what you guys do, and it's something that's new to us, and Hoki's excited about it, that's why she hopped up here, is the difference in performance versus like a more traditional agency, right? I think most people who run ads, they either run with somebody else's money, so it's an agency and they're using their credit card and they're getting a small piece of the ad spend and no upside, or they have their own e-commerce store, they're running their own business and they have a little bit of ad spend. You guys are much more focused on performance, which is much higher risk but higher reward. Just for everyone that's listening that's not familiar with like that specific model, can you explain like kind of how you guys approach media buying?
Yeah, absolutely. So when, like you said, most agencies come in and they'll pitch a client on what they can do from a media buying perspective, and they'll want a 15% fee to manage that money. Smart businesses have a metric that they're trying to gauge their media buying efforts around, and that is what is their overall cost per acquisition to acquire that customer, and then what's the lifetime value. And again, coming from my background, being a numbers person, we always kind of from the get-go were like, well, what's in it for you, client, when we started off at a normal agency relationship. And we quickly started to see that we can actually get these orders in for much less than what they had been accustomed to as a company. And so it did really well for us as an agency because they gave us more money and we were able to scale those accounts. But I felt like we were leaving money on the table because we were just not by like 5% dropping their CPA. We're coming in like 50% less than what their cost per acquisition was, 40% less than the cost per acquisition. And so what you do is you approach somebody and you ask them about what their offer is, what their audience is, what are the price points, what's the conversion metrics on their existing stuff. And then we would go to them and say, all right, I'll tell you what, let's start off with $10,000. I want $10,000 worth of cost per acquisition sales at this price, and we're going to take care of everything. We're going to come up with the money. We're going to build out the funnels. We're going to build out the ad creative. I'm going to set it all up. I'm going to run the traffic to your shopping cart page. I want you to put this pixel on the confirmation page. And when you hit $10,000 in sales, we'll stop and we'll reevaluate. And we did that with primarily in the info marketing world with specifically financial publishing offers. And it was love at first sight, because what exactly we thought we could do when they came and told us that their cost per acquisition was $150 and they would give us $150 all day long, we were able to acquire that customer for $100, $90, $105, sometimes $50, and we could do it at scale. And so then what we started to do is just find more and more offers and bigger accounts that could scale with us. And that was a kind of a problem at first, is that we'd go to people and that was kind of scaring them. They're like, wow, I've never seen anybody come in and like throw this number of sales so quickly. And we were asking for more, which they knew that means that we were making money. They would kind of pump the brakes. And then we started to get with the bigger and bigger players like Agora. And then that's what we've been primarily doing is all performance based. And we also started to expand it. A lot of people don't know this. people kind of approach it just straight cost per acquisition. You can do this very efficiently with CPL deals too. So somebody who's willing to pay, $30 a lead for a name, phone number, address, and an appointment. So long as that name, email, address, appointment converts on their back end, they actually converts into a sale at some percentage point, they'll pay you all day long. So we started doing that on a cost per lead basis. In fact, we actually did that before we did the CPA, really is on the CPL. And then we actually started to do it on the CPC, cost per click. There are people out there that are willing to pay because they've got their funnel so dialed in. They've got their math, their business model so dialed in that they know exactly if they pay $2 a click for the right type of traffic, it will back out for them. And it's a trust type of thing. I mean, if you throw bad traffic at them and nothing's converting, they're not going to give you anything. You're not going to want to do it either way. That's the nice thing about performance. It works out for both of you. So we've gone pretty far, but that's kind of like the beginning stuff of what we were doing a few years ago, and we've evolved since then. But that's kind of how performance-based marketing works.
Yeah, and it's a great model for a lot of reasons. It's amazing for us. It took so much time to for the light bulb to go off, because there's a difference between affiliate marketing where it's kind of just going to networks and picking up offers and true performance marketing. The way we view it is performance marketing at the level that you guys do it at, that we do it at, is about you're going out to businesses that are established, that aren't already they don't have things on networks that everyone can run, right? And you're helping them develop the offer, you're building out the kind of the front end for it in a way that it's most effective. And that's powerful because that gives you a walled garden, right? I think the challenge sometimes with traditional affiliate marketing is that you might crack something and it might make you money, but there's hundreds of other people all running the exact same pre-sale, all running the same advertorial, they all have the same creative, and you're just hoping that you can basically buy media more profitably than somebody else. And it's amazing. Right now we're really seeing it, because I have so many friends that have agencies and they've all taken massive hits because if you're a business right now, you are terrified of frivolously spending money or spending money without a guaranteed return. And so that's why a lot of ad spend gets cut when there's recessions, when there's pullbacks, when there's black swan events. It's one of the first things that happens, right? Just cut our ad spend. Because if you're a business and you're spending money on TV, radio, your agency, on Facebook, one day you might be getting purchases for $10, the next day it might be $50, then it might be $5, right? And that volatility you can't handle. But performance, what's great about it is we can go to a partner over here and say, okay, you pay us $55 for every purchase that comes in. You're going to pay that every single purchase no matter what. So whether it costs us $5 or $100, you're paying us $55. And based on your numbers, $55 makes you money. That's a no-brainer. It doesn't matter what's happening economically, unless your supply chain breaks. You're going to keep doing that because I pay this, I make this. And it's sustainable. It's stable, right? And that was a light bulb for us. It was nobody's gonna fire you because you're driving their business. You're a part of their engine now. You're not going anywhere. Especially if you're working with big enough brands that don't have supply chain issues or any logistical issues. That can be one of the things. And it's an exciting business model. And we realize financially, we make more money in one day with a single performance deal than we made in an entire month of an agency client, which was just crazy. And we don't have to deal with phone calls. We don't have to deal with angry clients. We don't have to deal with anything. It's just we do what we do and we make money. But that's part of it, right? What you guys do, though, is you've taken it a level further. And that's what is, in my opinion, separates Strike Point, what you do, from pretty much everyone else. Because there's affiliate marketers who just, hey, I'm going to run ads for this ClickBank offer from Facebook to their landing page and collect a CPA or CPL. You guys have decided, hey, what if we built our own lists, our own assets on the front end, and then went through to an offer? If you could talk about that, because that's the X factor, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I'm all about, with my team, I'm asking them all the time, is this repeatable? Is this scalable, and is this profitable, right? It's got to check all three, not just one. There's a lot of things. An agency in general, as a service-based business, is an amazing business. I'm not knocking it at all. It's great because there's practically no initial startup cost at all. It's a startup, and it's a service-based business, and you can make 10 grand a month, $20,000 a month really quickly as a service-based business. So it's profitable. It checks one of those boxes. But repeatable? No, because each business has their own unique problems, or product or service that they have to do, and what you're making for them isn't going to go and translate into some other business. So it's not repeatable. And scalable, sure, it's scalable, but it becomes a people scale thing where you've got to have 150 people to go and manage a very small amount of gross profit on a monthly basis, which then the net cost to you, then it takes away from the profitability. So what we have done using this performance-based model was, all right, let's go ahead and let's first start doing deals where we're getting paid out on some type of performance. We can increase our net profit to us. Then we started to look at things and we were like, wait a second, what's happening with all of these non-buyers? There's 95% of the traffic, the people that are coming to this funnel that aren't doing anything. So what we did is in 2015, we launched a website called investingshortcuts.com. And we created evergreen content about trading and investing. And the concept was like, if you were drinking a beer with your buddy and he was like, hey, Jeremy, how does a bull call spread work? I would write this quick little blog about how a bull call spread works, very kind of like colloquial, easygoing conversation, and explain how a bull call spread works. Put that on the site. And we started creating, we wrote, 300 blog posts and took all those blog posts and we made a guide out of them. And we had like over 100 shortcuts in there. So we called it the ultimate shortcut to investing and trading and started generating leads. Well, we knew enough about media buying where we could target. Most important is what audience are you going after? Then we want them to raise their hand that they're interested in something. So we started to tweak the shortcuts in there, and based off of what the offer was that we were going to ultimately try to sell them and make money off of it. So there was a customer that sold a front-end options course on how to trade stock options. We made a shortcut guide, 25 different option strategies every trader must know from those different blog articles. Of course, we made it like all seamless and added graphics, and it was really, really like the value was next level. That was important to us. We really wanted the brand to feel like people got something. So we would go out, created Facebook ads, and advertise for a free option strategy guide. They would click on it. They'd go to an investing shortcuts landing page, and we would acquire the lead. And now we'd build up a big email list. Then what we'd do is we would take the guy's offer and we'd send an email to our email list that we just acquired about going to this free webinar, about this free training, about this other thing that they're looking for. So the person would opt in and they would sign up and hopefully buy. And so we built up this massive email list and we started to rent out that email list and we owned all of that data. So that was like the first thing that we started doing. And we did that in 2015. Then what we started to do is we started to find other people who had email lists and they weren't monetizing their email list. And I had this one offer and I only had a certain number of emails on that list. I only had, I think it was like 70,000 or something. So we would be fulfilling things and then wouldn't really be able to send any more emails and, couldn't send too many emails. So it was like a limited inventory thing. So we started finding other people in our space that had these email lists and these offers that we knew were fire. They were converting like crazy. We started representing other people's email lists. So our first month, we made $20,000 in gross profit representing other people's lists and taking this offer and bring it to a list and these guys were getting paid on a performance basis. It was on a cost per lead or cost per click, not on a CPA basis. And the advertiser was paying us on a cost per lead, cost per click basis, and we were just making the spread. And fast forward, we have grown that model out. So now what we have done is we have 10 what we call micro brands. And that's really what, if you're paying attention right here, this is the evolution of performance marketing. And this is a massive model that I think is going to be super important. I don't care if you're selling healthcare products, you're selling marketing products, you're selling other stuff as an affiliate, baby products, whatever it is that you want to sell, create a micro brand. Get a logo created, a quick, easy WordPress site, start getting content, usually do something you're passionate about, you can write some content on there, and then create a lead magnet, create a guide, a report, something free that's of value, and make sure that something that this is actually something that borderline you would probably charge for it, right? You're like, I could probably charge $7 for this thing or $39. It's that good. These are all mistakes that we've made in the past trying to like get things out quicker or whatever. No, make this thing extremely valuable. And then what you do is you go out and you buy your media and you're advertising this thing. But the difference now is you can do just what I said, just acquire, build your list, build your audience. Or what you can do is now what we do is we do a co-branded. So we actually will go to somebody like Agora and we'll take one of their gurus and we'll actually take their content, create an ebook with his face on it, and we will do it under that micro brand. So one of our brands is called tradestocks.com. We'll take a guy who's got an options course, we'll create a free content, videos, all this material, and then we will go in and serve these ads out. And then when they go to the landing page, it says that we're going to share this contact with this group, with this company. And it's co-branded. It's got the name of that other company on there. It's got that guy's face on there. It's got his bio on there. And as soon as they convert the lead, that lead is now being split. It goes onto my list and it's going onto their list. And again, we'll charge that on a cost per lead or cost per acquisition basis. So
Yeah. It's just to butt in there because it's like this is the problem sometimes I think with, at least when I'm like sharing stuff, I realize like you and I do this every minute, every day. We live this, right? So you develop this unconscious competence, which is something I had to get aware of a few years ago because I would just talk about things that like I just assume, hey, this is so obvious. Like it's no brainer to set up this custom audience, this retargeting thing here. But I want to like just highlight what you just said because whoever's watching and listening right now, that is such a home run idea. Think about that. Like you can go, if you think there's this really hot product out there from this great brand, and even if they're on a network right now and you think you could blow it up, like approach them, say, hey, what if we co-created a ebook together or a white paper or something? And it can be in any industry. It could be in the tropic, right? It could be, hey, let's co-create a 15-step guide on how to hack your brain to be more productive, right? And we'll build out the lead magnet, the funnel for it, and then on the back end it will put you in a tropic product, right? Like it's so simple, but nobody's doing it, right? And when you think about it, when you finally hear it, you're like, oh, it's a no-brainer because now it's a win-win for everybody. I can build an email list and simultaneously do CPA stuff because I can offer their product in the back end, but now I can hit them with multiple nootropics down the road or other, brain hacks. There could be apps in the app store that help your productivity, right? They're getting a sale. Plus they're also getting an email that they wouldn't have gotten. They're not paying for, they're not paying for the sale until they actually get the revenue, and they're getting the lead essentially for free. If you want to structure that way, obviously you could also charge for the lead, but getting started. And they're getting free brand exposure. There's so many benefits on both parties there, and you can basically, it's arbitrage. Like you can leverage their team and a lot of their resources to do a lot of the legwork, and you can collect kind of the upside there, which is really, really interesting.
Yeah, you can price it out several different ways. One of the ways that we price it out is that they will just buy the leads from us. And we're very transparent. We'll tell them what we're probably going to get the lead for, and they can pay for half of the leads, for example. Well, now all of a sudden we've just built up, a 30,000 list name of people that we're the ones buying the media. We're the ones targeting them. We know that this is a good audience. We're spending the money, but they've paid for 50% of your media costs. That's insane. I mean, that is like unheard of. So second one, before you even spend $1, you've made 50% of your ad spend back. If any, you should be salivating if you're a good performance-based marketer at that prospect of that. Or what you could do is you could take on even more risk and say, hey, I'll take it all on, but I want this as a CPA. We're going to share this stuff. And that's kind of what we do. And so our goal is there's actually one more thing I should say. We're really excited about it. It's taken us forever to get this to the point, but everybody watching this, you'll hear about this very, very soon. So we invented this product that it's a digital product that everybody's going to be able to use. We're calling it Lead Cart. That may change, but for now it's called Lead Cart. And it's a technology. And what we did is we took the all that we're talking about, this like model. It's kind of a co-reg model, co-registration model, performance model, and we built out something that anybody can start doing this today. So Max, you could be like, all right, great, I want to do this today. How would I do that? Well, you got to set some things up. We wanted something turnkey. So what we did is we took the power of a shopping cart and combined it with lead generation. So take that same guide report that you're giving. You're a chiropractor and have this free report for your back, and they click on it. They're going to get sent to a landing page that looks like a shopping cart page with the cart that they saw in the ad in there. But below are more different guides, right? More guides about different topics. It could be about arthritis. It could be about neck pain. It could be whatever. And they're from other advertisers. So other advertisers who are non-competitive to the chiropractor's business are going to be in there, and they can add them to the cart just by literally saying, yep, add to the cart, add to the cart. And so when they check out, they have 5 things in their cart. Their contact information is going to be shared with everybody that they've just signed up for. Like, yep, I want this one, because that's the advertiser is going to be the one sending them the actual guide. And so they put it in their cart, they put in their name and their email, they hit submit. We've been doing this internally now we invented it in November, launched it late December, and been using it ever since. On a poor performing funnel, we're making 60% of our ad spend back within the first 30 seconds of somebody coming through the funnel, 60% through that ad monetization. On a good funnel, a good converting offer that people are really, really into, and the other ones that are in the funnel, we're making 22 to 50% above and beyond what we paid for that lead back within the first 30 seconds. So we're actually making money to do lead gen. And so we believe we have a patent pending on it. We believe it's the first lead gen tool that can also monetize something at the exact same time. And so you can make your own deals and add your own different stuff in the cart. We can help you with it, and we'd be able to structure deals for you and put things into the cart. But that is going to be some technology that comes out. What's cool about this, you guys, is that this funnel, think about performance throughout the entire funnel. So we just talked about the front end, like lead gen and stuff. What if you did this? We thought about this and we implemented this. Like we were like, well, what are we doing with these thank you pages? What if we had a guide for day trading? They would submit it. We put them through Lead Cart, add more stuff. We made some of our money back, and it gets sent to a confirmation page that says, here's your confirmation number. Check your email. We're going to send these guides out to you. But underneath the confirmation information, there was an offer. And when they clicked on that offer, it took them to a VSL. And we actually sold them while they're engaged, while they're showing interest and intent. And so we started at what we call post-reg. So post-reg is another fantastic way where you're sharing the information. It could be this is yet a third or fifth or seventh company in this funnel that you're trying to get this person to buy something from or sign up, for in that funnel. And every single time that they do, you're making money from it. You're monetizing that. So post-registration, we call it post-reg pages, are another fantastic way that you can, as a performance marketer, make more money off of your expense of acquiring that lead or acquiring that click that you had to pay for.
Which is just super exciting. So yeah, if you're a performance marketer and you know your numbers well, anytime you hear like I can reduce or liquidate my front end ad costs by double digits, that should get pretty much anybody excited. And then you have the the additional upside right out of the gate of that thank you page where you have the offer right on it. So we talked a lot about this. Like we're so excited to test it and can't wait to give it a try because there's so many applications there. I mean, what's the big play for the brand? You have a few things kind of going on. Like it seems to me from the outside that there's a direction that you're going down. These things are all working together. But I'm curious, like a few years out, where you see the brand ideally.
Yeah, great question. I feel like I feel like it's Christmas. I'm sitting on this this amazing thing that no one knows about, and like I just can't wait for everybody to open it up and use it. And I'm going mad with my developers, like, let's go. I'm trying to push them and have them go as fast as they can. Here's our grand vision for it. So I believe that co-reg done like this up front instead of the sloppy way that it's done now, where it's not mobile optimized and not really up front. It's a bad user experience, has really gotten the market away. But our friend Rich Sheffron is beating this drum that big tech is going to ruin small businesses. And there's a big thing that they've already announced, Google, that said that they are not going to allow third-party pixels. So they're not allowing third-party pixels, and that's going to be phased out within 2 years. Big tech companies or big other big companies, big brands have already started to make big moves into offsetting what's going to be a huge transformation in the digital marketing world. We're going to go from what Ryan Deiss called the pixel war, and we're going to get into a new lead gen war. Owning first party data and having the ability to communicate directly with people when you want, and not having to rely on Google or Facebook or Instagram to get your messages out, or WhatsApp to get your message out. You can control that. Is going to be the difference between super scalable revolutionary companies and everybody else. If you're paying attention, especially if you're a brick and mortar company like a restaurant or something like that, during this COVID crisis, if you didn't have a contact list that you could say, hey, we're still open, get your takeout from us. We have this special going on, and you're not texting that out, your business has probably been, completely wiped out. Not saying that you may not have also experienced a really big hit, but a lot less if you have people coming and buying takeout from you and coming every single day and getting orders delivered to their homes at night, and like, because you can have that contact info, you can have that conversation with them because you have their contact information. So LeadCart and our technology, we are trying to get out in front of what is going to be the biggest, digital marketing war we've seen. If you think the pixel war was intense, lead gen is going to be huge. And so you need to start acquiring first party data and having that ability to communicate. So we want to see thousands of businesses using LeadCart. And then when everybody's using LeadCart to generate leads, then what we want to be able to do is have a toggle in their dashboard that allows them to turn on monetization, make your money back on these leads. And so if you're selling, if you're making custom sheets for your bed or something like that, and you've got stuff that you're giving out for free, have Bed Bath & Beyond also put ads in there, have Home Depot put ads in there, have all these other different brands put coupons in for other stuff. Why not? Why not make some of your money back? We're going to share that with you. So I'm calling it alt media. It's like an alternative form. The biggest change in this space is when native came about, and someone's like, you know what? If you put like an ad right in the middle of this blog post about what you're talking about, I guarantee you people are going to want to click on that thing. And so Taboola and Outbrain were created. I'm in the exact same boat. I bet you that when someone goes and says, yeah, I want that free this, that they probably also say, yeah, I'll take a couple other free things while I'm here, and you can make money from it, and they'll sign up. And we've proven it. We've had over 20,000 transactions through the LeadCart, and the average take rate, an additional 2.6 guides in addition to the one. So it's 3.6 total additional guides. So we want to do that. And then from there, we are going to look at the business that we have, and we're going to cherry pick the ones that have the most spend, the brands that we know have got the best products, and call them and say, hey, we can do more performance deals with you. We can build funnels for you and upsell them. We still, to this day, after 6.5 years, we still have our creative division. We've worked with Disney, YMCA. We do Scholastic book commercials. We've done some amazing work in the creative side. A lot of people don't know that about StrikePoint. The way I kind of like to give the analogy is that LeadCart and our ad network is kind of like a hotel, and we're building more and more hotels out. But while you're at the hotel, why not have a restaurant they can eat at? Because they're going to need a website. Why not have a funnel building team that can go and build additional funnels for them? And this, we've all, this, as a business owner, Max, like, you work with a company that's got really good people, you wish they could do more. You wish you didn't have to go and like hodgepodge 3 or 4 businesses together. We really want to own we want to own in the ability to generate customers. So I want to be known as the guy that's the customer acquisition machine that can take a lead and turn them into a client for you. And we're going to go after the lead gen first. We have some cool, really, really cool products that we want to launch after lead cart. That is that same model. It's like turnkey, very easy and simple to use. That's going to take people from the lead part to the sale part. They work really well with lead cart, but that's my grand vision here in the next 3 years. No doubt, I hope everybody listening will be like, I remember this podcast, and oh my gosh, I'm using lead cart every single day. It's the best thing ever. So again, the name may change a little bit, but the idea and concept for sure, we're going full steam ahead on it.
Love it, man. So thanks for spilling your entire grand plan vision. I'm going to go now roll with that and pull Zuckerberg. I'm just kidding. Hearing that though, so something that I've struggled with as a business owner and entrepreneur for my entire adult life since college is focus, right? I was just chatting with Brian Moran of Sam Cart. It got me all the carts today. And we were chatting about because what he's done with Sam Cart is like hyper focus on one specific aspect of ecom. And for me, like when we got started with Quantum, definitely our agency with Kevin, like we did everything full service. We took on every type of client from 3M to this small product startup. And then Unicorn, same kind of thing. We had courses, info, agency, all this stuff. And we were never able to get past a certain point. We'd always hit this plateau. And we realized it was focus for us, right? It was like once we started just getting laser focus on one specific thing and doing an amazing job on that thing, all of a sudden the business started to make more money each month than it did the month before and started really growing. I'm curious, like how do you deal with that? And obviously you're in a different place. You have a bigger team. You've been building this for years. It's not a 1-year-old company, 2-year-old company, but how do you balance we want to do a lot of these things. We want to have creative and we want to build the funnels with also like, hey, we have this technology could be $1 billion company. And if we just focus on this, maybe we could get there faster. Like how are you balancing that in your head?
Yeah, I get asked this question a lot because people, they talk to us and like, man, you guys do a lot. And I go, we do a lot. I do not. And so one of the things that we've learned the hard way is who is focusing and when are they focusing are two crucial components to scaling. So the way that we've kind of structured things is Brian and I, my business partner and co-founder, if it's something new, we're the ones that are spending all the time and energy with a very select group of people who is going to get it from an idea into a start mode, right? You're in the growth phase of it. And we want to put in as much infrastructure as possible around that, from getting new people onto it, taking people away, saying they're not doing anything else but this. And so we get it kind of going, and then we set up expectations and guidelines. We say, this is the budget. This is how much revenue and dollars that we're going to put towards this behind you. Here's how many people you're going to have. Here's what you can do. We create a mission and a vision behind that very specific objective that we're trying to do. And the people that were there from the very beginning helping us build that, they then come in and they take it over. So for trade stocks, for example, we have a group of people that's all they do is they work on that particular little micro brand for us. And we did that with our different micro brands. So I'm focusing most of my time on lead cart and getting, same thing with Brian, on getting that to a point where it's ready for the marketplace. And the people that have been there, the team members that we've had, that's what they're going to be focusing on full time. They will be able to run and take that over, while Brian and I have our next product that's going to be an add-on to lead cart. They can do that as well. So it's really, really important that you kind of like, you get a plate spinning and then you get somebody who can spin it on their own. You kind of watch them do it for a while. You see the plate stop spinning. Can they pick it back up and start it again? If they can do that a few different times, like my daughter just learned how to ride a bike. Once she figured out what happens when she gets, falls off the bike and can get back on, and then actually doesn't need me to hold the seat anymore to get her started, and she can do it. She was fine. She can literally get on a bike, anytime she wants and pretty much any condition, and she can ride it. It's a little bit simplistic, of an example, but the same thing with a business, So that's kind of like what we've done is we've got amazing teams. I tell everybody all the time, my team, I go, you guys make me look so good. Because Strike Point's involved in a lot of stuff, and we like to think we kill it on the things that we put our time and focus and energy behind, but it's really them. And so we just have been having that mantra with our team, just like, all right, guys, and we just hold the expectation. So many business owners and team leaders don't have the right expectations. I'm not saying be an asshole and like berate people for not performing for you. But at the same time, when they don't do something the way that you think they should be doing, stop right then and there and point it out. Ask them why they did it the way that they did it, that you didn't want them to do it that way or whatever. Train them on it, and then get them going and say, if I have to do this 2 or 3 more times, you're not the right person for the job. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to move you around. I say this to my team too. I say I'm about the position. I'm about the person, not the position. If you're somebody who's a hard worker, wants to show up and kill it, there will be something I can get you to do. But maybe I've got you into a position that's the worst thing for you. It's not you, it's the position's fault. I give people the benefit of the doubt to think that way. So I don't, that they're going to be fired. It's like, all right, well, let's get you. I had my best biz dev guy that helps generate millions of dollars in revenue for us started off as a motion graphic designer. And now he sells traffic to people. I mean, like you couldn't go to 2 other spectrums, but he gets the marketing side, which makes him so much more powerful when he talks about media buying and traffic. So that's why that works together. And that's a perfect example about being about the person and not the position. Anyway, we kind of digressed off the topic, but I hope that kind of answered your question.
No, I love it because it actually leads me to another path, which is like talent. Right? So you just talked about you have this guy that you hire for this one role and it turned out to be great for this other role. You have a pretty good sized team now, and you've been doing this for quite some time. How are you, 2-part question, I guess, like how are you finding talent, and how are you like cultivating / retaining it? Because that's been one of our biggest struggles is a lot of people say they can do really good stuff. Most can't execute at the level that at least we like want people to execute at. So I'm curious, like what's your process look like? What does your systems look like? Where are you finding your kind of best people?
Yeah. Obviously it's always a iterative process where we're always constantly trying to change things. We've got a pretty good thing going, and it's been really successful now for the last 4 years. We're a team of 30 people. So these are people, most of them work in one office here in Laguna Beach. We've got, I think, 12 that actually almost every single person started in the office. They've had a family and then moved to Bend, Oregon. Another person moved to Portland, Oregon. So most of them have all started off here in the office and then it just moved away. But I'm sitting in this new office with as we started this whole thing off with this thing here, we just expanded into 2,000 more square feet. So we have 4,000 square feet to grow into it. And it's all because of talent acquisition. And the way that we approach it is what we're looking for is more of a generalist, actually, not necessarily somebody who's super, super specific that they're good at this one thing. We like people who've had experience copywriting, building websites, building WordPress sites, things that when people have like on their own learned how to maybe they had a live YouTube channel for a while that they've been able to go and do, and software programs that they taught themselves and how to like implement. We take those types of people and we actually, even if they have 3 or 4 years of experience, we start them off at the very, very bottom, account coordinating. We call it a marketing coordinator position. And what they're doing is they're project managing the start to finish on the ways that we do anything at this company. So one day, a few years ago, about 4 years ago, I sat down and I wrote out every single thing that we do, every single thing, a lead magnet, a Facebook ad, whatever it was, I wrote it down. And I put it into a spreadsheet and I said, where does this fit in the customer journey? So I made the customer journey that I wanted people to go through and what service we provided. And there was some redundancy, copywriting for a lead magnet or landing page, copy for an email follow-up series. There's copywriting, right? But I took that, and then what I did is we used Teamwork as our project management. Then I created a step-by-step process with approximately how long I think it should take somebody to do this, right? Each one of those things. And I literally built out a workflow for like 67 micro things that we do. Because when you build a funnel, you're just taking a bunch of micro things together and you're adding them into one. So when someone comes on, that's the first thing that they learn how to do, is they go and they learn exactly what each step is to everything that we do and we build out. How do we build an Excel spreadsheet for a Google spreadsheet for our media buying? We're going to launch a new campaign. As a marketing coordinator, that's one of the things that they help out with, is setting all that stuff up so they know all the specifics. So now that they've got this complete picture, they start to shine in certain areas. We start having them be building out landing pages. We start having them do more design work. They start doing more copy work. They start creating more ads. They start getting into ad accounts. And then they get into a marketing specialist role. And a marketing specialist role is the specific thing that we're looking for them to do. Copywriter, media buyer, whatever role that they have. And then from a media specialist, they become a leader, or marketing manager. And then the marketing manager has everybody beneath them. They've got a bunch of marketing specialists, a bunch of marketing coordinators, or they're the lead media buyer or the lead copywriter. And so you start to grow that way. And our best success has literally been taking people who don't have a ton of direct response, but they can figure things out on their own. They're hardworking, they're smart, they're fast. I love people who are really fast and detail oriented. So we take those people and we put them through a process. So it takes me, I'd say, to build a badass person that any company would love to hire, that could build a funnel all by themselves practically. Takes me about 2 years, 2.5 years to build that person internally. That's pretty fast in my opinion. There is no shortcut to it. Yeah. So you do need to be able to go and take on, that's one thing that's a big misnomer. We can take people on we've hired like Itai is a really amazing copywriter, and he's been able to come in and we've taken him and he's running copy, but marketing coordinating first for a period of time. It's like the Chick-fil-A or Burger King. If you go and you buy a franchise, they make you flip burgers, work the cash register, mop the floors, close the office. They make you do all of that before they allow you just to run the store. That's the exact same mentality we have. You've got to be able to have your hands in everything first. You get it how it all works. We have a really extensive onboarding process where everyone's sitting down and they have to interview the person like a reporter on what that person does for the company, how long they've been there for. And so we set them up on a round robin to get them acclimated. We make them do an announcement in our Slack channel and send out a massive email to everybody too. Just little things like that just like really help get these people trained into our way of thinking. And what we're looking for is somebody who can fall in line. I gave this analogy to my team the other day. I was in Hawaii on family vacation, and this guy was kind of a ham, and they brought him up on stage to play this big drum, right, for this luau. And it was very simple. To teach this guy the song, it was dun 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 dun, and his job was only to go dun dun with the drum, just 2 beats, right? And he was being funny, so he didn't even hear the instructions and was kind of playing the drums like he wanted to. And they were laughing, and they're like, no, do this. And then you could see this look on his face where he wasn't paying attention, and everyone's laughing at him now because he's the one that can't get that. All he has to do is go, And so it's very similar to us here at Strike Point. We're not looking for people to reinvent funnels and like be this maverick who creates this amazing campaign that it's going to blow up the world or whatever. No. First, can you complete this? Dun, 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 dun. And then the beat gets more complicated, and the music gets a little bit faster and it gets a little bit quicker. And then once you can keep up with all of our songs, then go out and create new songs. Then go out and create new beats and train the other people who know all these different beats. But it's a huge mistake to go and expect someone to create a brand new song for your band when they can't get the rhythm of the existing songs that the band plays. And I think that's how our approach has been. And it's taken us some time to get there, but it's been really effective. keeping talent around, we're culture first. We have values. Do you have core values? You could be a team of 3 people. You should still have core values. You should have a mission statement and you should have a vision statement. So when we do our reviews for people, we do them in core values. We have 5 core values. We do them in the core values. So, and we talk about everything. We have Slack channels that were around core values, and we bring people's lives into the office. It's very, we want people to love what they do and be passionate about what they do, and we celebrate those things that we're passionate about when we sell, that we do, and we kind of keep things fun. And I tell people too, and I think this is a big misnomer. A lot of business owners make this mistake. I know I've made all the stuff that I'm telling you. I've just done the opposite of this and gotten to the point where this works. So last thing I'll say on this is that when I'm usually the last person that does any of the interviews, if I do them at all. But one thing I do like to do is I do the mission, vision, and values for every single hire. So even if they're remote, I do it via Zoom, or if they're in person, I do that together. If there's 3 or 4 people we hire at the same time, I'll sit down and do them with them. And what I also say in addition to that is I tell them that their future at StrikePoint looks like one of 3 things. One is you come to StrikePoint and you find out that you hate marketing. You hate direct response marketing. You hate the type of financial clients that we're dealing with. You just do not like it. You strongly don't like it. Great. That's a huge win. It's a huge win. You don't like it. I want to know that. You should know that as a person, and you can move on with your life. The second thing is that this StrikePoint could be a stepping stone. So I love it when people come here and then they go off and they do these amazing things. One of the people that was our media director of media buying when we first started is now one of the higher up marketing managers for Rakuten, and he's killing it over at Rakuten. And we're still friends, and he's a great story. He talks about StrikePoint. He sent people our way, like, hey, they want to get a job in digital marketing or they want to make a transition. He sends them our way. But that's just the reality, you guys. There are going to be people who use your business as a stepping stone for somewhere else. Fantastic. Great. Wish them the best of luck, because if they go on to become an Elon Musk or some, awesome person and you were there, then you get to turn StrikePoint into the heart, or your business into the harbor that incubated this for that person to go on and do better things, right? And then the third outcome is what we're all intentionally trying to do, which is you become a lifer. You are going to be here, you're going to buy a house because of the money that we pay you. You're going to start a family because of the money that we paid you. You're going to run teams because you've given it your all, and you've earned the ability of trust and responsibility and leadership to run things here. You might be the next CEO of StrikePoint because you decided to put in the time. And the only reason why, if it's not the first thing, if it's not something that you learn that you just do not like, the only reason why that relationships in business don't work out is because there's a disproportionate value exchange. The person feels like they're giving way more value than what they're getting paid for, or the company feels like they are giving that person too much money, meaning too much value for what they're getting out of them. And so we tell people, please come and let us know when we give them the words to tell us when they're not happy. Hey, come to us and say, there's a value exchange happening that I don't feel great about. Can we talk about it? Okay, what does that value exchange look like? And we are going to do the exact same thing with you. And you know what? Like in any relationship, it goes back and forth. Your best friend, you've been giving him a bunch of money and spending a bunch of time with him on the phone because he's going through a hard time, etc. Man, he's depleting from you. And all of a sudden you go through a bunch of hard times, and he's there and he's depositing into you as you're withdrawing funds. And relationships can go back and forth all the time. They're never going to be perfect. But when it goes too far and you're like, I don't have any more money to give you, I don't have any more time to give you, I need a break, use your words, communicate that. So it's just like those types of conversations that we have at the very beginning of our relationship with people that has helped us, I think, maintain. And we do just check-ins. Sometimes I'll feel anxiety about the person's excitement about the company, and just to check in with them and no, this is what's going on. I'm sorry, I've had this personal thing, or whatever, and we work it out. And if people are willing, that's why I'm so much about the person, not the position, because if people are willing to do that, how can they not be here forever? It's so long as the value exchange is working out.
That's just amazing stuff. What I would say is the core values, what you stated, super important. That's what I was grabbing over here. Like we have for everybody in our team gets like a note card, um, and it has obviously like their role responsibilities on the front, so they know like exactly what they're responsible for. But then on the back, it has like their like our company purpose and core values and stuff, and it makes a big difference. It seems like it's a small thing, but like every single person in our company is operating from the same point, and they know what we
Yeah.
stand for, and they know we actually stand for something. I think most companies don't know what their purpose is. They don't know. They don't have any values, and at that point, somebody's there just for a paycheck. Right? If there's nothing beyond compensation, then it's much easier for them to decide to leave. There's no attachments. There's no roots. So as soon as they get a better offer, hey, they're going to pay me more money. There's no additional reasons to stay. It's, you pay me X, they're going to
That's
pay me
right.
Y. And so yeah, I think it's huge. I've noticed a lot of the companies that have great cultures and a lot of really loyal employees all have clear missions, clear purposes, clear values, and everyone in the company understands what those are and they align with them. And that's probably one of the main reasons why they stay there. So glad you shared that. I had no expectation to talk about employment or hiring or anything, but I think it's super valuable for a lot of people listening. And I think it's a great place for us to wrap on. Because obviously, want to make sure people have time for you to share like how people can learn more. I know you have a show that you do, and there's so much exciting stuff that you're doing. The lead cart tool you're releasing. So if somebody's listening right now and wants to learn more about you or about StrikePoint, potentially find out when the software was released, what's the best place for them to go check all that out?
Yeah, I'd say go to Instagram or Facebook, social media, reach out to us. There are three different places that you can go. For me, particularly, you can go to @JeremyBlossom on Instagram, follow me, shoot me a direct message. I'm really responsive there. For StrikePoint, my company, we've got positions that we have open right now we're looking to hire. So @StrikePoint or Facebook, LinkedIn. And then I do have a podcast. It's called Secrets of Marketers. I sit down with people and we say, hey, what are the things that you're doing right now that's killing it? They open up and they tell me about it. It's really cool. So @Secrets of Marketers is there. So yeah, I appreciate it, Max. You're an amazing host and really smart guy. And it's fun to do business with you. It's fun to do life with you, and it's been fun having be on the show. So appreciate it.
Love it, man. Well, thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll do another episode soon. Hopefully, I'll be on your show again soon. I'll have you back on here because there's just too much stuff to pack into a single hour. So we will see you on the next one. Talk soon, brother.